Hi, welcome again to Get Real Blog episode 3. I'm Katrina Marshall, host of the morning talk show Morning Barbados, and I'm here to talk to you today about my weekend action. I'm actually going to a play. It's called Rico's Story, I Have No Son. It sounds like one of those kind of artsy-fartsy dramas, but it's actually inspired by an HIV/AIDS charity. It's called, yes, and I'm reading the name because I would never remember it, the Caribbean Cytometry and Analytical Society. They got a bunch of statistics about HIV/AIDS infection and stigma and discrimination together over the past, I think, about 5 years. Put them all together, and then they thought, oh gosh, this is terribly dry, no one's going to want to read this. So they hired a director, some fairly swish actors, and they made a play out of it. So it's called I Have No Son, and the clue is in the name, really. Abandonment of people living with HIV and AIDS is one of the themes that we deal with here on our Get Real blog. So I'm going either this evening or tomorrow, I'm not quite sure, to see if I am in any way moved, to see if the director District Brown and the actors like Ishaka McNeil, Andrew Pilgrim, if they kind of live the message. We've talked about it on the show on Morning Barbados, and all of the actors that we've spoken to kind of say, yeah, it kind of hit me right here. So if you're viewing from outside of Barbados, it is in Bridgetown at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus at the Errol Barrow Center for Creative Imagination. Yes, I got that all in one take. Yay me. So yeah, that's another big thing happening in HIV and AIDS this week. And something else that happens when you're a blogger. When you talk to a blogger as a friend, you get talked about on the blog. So hi Chris, you're being talked about. I had a conversation with my friend Chris, and it was kind of one of those normal, we were on the same page things, and then all of a sudden she pipes up and says, those t-shirts that you were talking about, they're never going to work. Well, I perked up because, we wore them all on set and everybody at Cute Vision wore them, and big story. Chris believes that young people actually get it. They get the stay safe, they get the condom bit, they get all of these things, but there's some kind of uncomfortable, not cool to talk about myths that they're still living with. So myths surrounding things like getting AIDS through vaginal penetration versus anal penetration, things like blowjobs, and how you can, seems to think that they can find their way around transmission based on a lot of the myths that they share with each other. No, they're not talking to you and me, they're talking to each other. So she kind of thought, it's not going to work if you put it on a t-shirt. And I thought, well, we don't have to agree with her, and we have to start somewhere. But it was a big light bulb moment for me, because you think you're working hard, you think the messages are getting across, but then if you're not really on the ground getting real, as it were, with what young people are talking about among themselves, or rather among ourselves, should I say that, you're missing the point, basically. So that's another way of getting real, stripping away the myths, saying the things that are kind of uncomfortable to the people that need to hear them the most, what we call our most vulnerable or at-risk populations, younger people who are more likely to be experimenting with sexual experiences and whatever else. So that was my big kind of aha moment for the week, the fact that not everyone is on board with the way we do things, but that's okay. We want to engage as many people as possible, engage as many viewpoints as possible. Even if we don't agree, we all have one common goal. So this weekend, I Have No Son, Rico's Story. If you are local, it is 7 o'clock at the Errol Barrow Center for Creative Imagination. Director District Brown, under the auspices of the, yes, I'm reading it again, Caribbean Cytometry and Analytical Society. It's an HIV/AIDS charity that's put on a play. Prepare to be moved. And if you have anything to say, if you have any comments, if you think that I'm talking absolute nonsense, that little comment tab on the bottom, when you finish watching me, click comment. Send me what you think. That's what we want to hear. That's how we're trying to love, protect, and respect. See you next week. Live up.